Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Artistly Workshop. This is Rob, and we are going to have a look at a fun little project today with personalized ABC books. Just a quick note, I am going to be changing the branding of this educational outreach that I have going from Artistly Workshop to something different. So, just so you know, you may see things change around here as far as the name goes, but that's just to avoid any conflict with the great Artistly folks. I don't want to upset them by using their trademarks, so um, we're gonna find something else. So, and I also apologize that it's been so long since I put any content out here. Just been crazy, and to be perfectly honest, I did start this video about a week ago, but I became so confused by my own project and so buried in material that I just had to delete it all and start all over again. So that's where we are right now, starting all over again. And I've decided I'm going to scale the training back a little bit because I think it was just a little overwhelming for me and probably would have been overwhelming for you. So we are going to create a personalized ABC book, which is a pretty popular thing. It's good for, toddlers just learning their alphabet and whatnot. Just a fun thing to have. And Artistly does have a tool that does it for you. We are going to look at that, but we're going to look at also some alternative ways to get what I think are a little bit better, more customizable results. So, without further ado, let us go to the Fast AI Image Designer. Now, the very first thing that we need for a personalized ABC book is a person. I have one that I have generated. This is no one's child. This is just an AI creation. Cute little toddler kid with curly hair, and I wanted to do a striped shirt just so we could kind of test consistency with a little bit more detail on things. Looks like he's got the right number of fingers, and we're going to use this guy. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this character and we are going to edit the background out. So you'll use a photo of your child, your grandchild, or your customer or whatever. And I'm going to click on edit this image in the middle, take it into the advanced AI editor, and we are going to simply click on the tool up here that says remove background with our image selected. Click, click again, and we'll pause. All right, didn't take too long. Let me click on our little guy. All right, not too bad. I mean, the hair is a little unclean. You could do this better in Photoshop or something, but I think a rough version will be okay. So then what we have to do is we have to export this. We're going to save it as a PNG, and then I'm going to bring it back in. Let me pause you real quick. All right, back here in Artistly, we are going to go to bulk actions, create a new action, and then I think I need to find that image. Hang on 1 second. All right, had to hunt for this little guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with the image that we just downloaded, exported from Artistly, I'm going to go ahead and just upscale. Click only upscale. Improving human face sometimes when it's an already good looking human face does weird things. I'm only doing this to bring this image into the Artistly space, which there are other ways to do it, but this is how I'm working. All right, we'll convert it. We'll build the action. And wait. Okay, now we have our isolated kid on a separate image, a 300 DPI image in our library. And so now you have to ask yourself what style you want to make your book in. And I'm going to try something. Let's actually go to the AI Design Assistance, click on AI Stylizer, choose our new image from our background, and I'm going to find a style here. Let's try, let's use the cartoon style and see what we get. And actually, I'm going to pick, well, let's leave it default aspect. All right. Sometimes AI Stylizer does not like us, so we have to try again. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to go to AI Design Assistance, Photo Editor, pick our little dude, choose a nice aspect ratio, and say convert to storybook illustration style. We'll try that. All right. That's not too bad. We'll use it. If you don't like the way it looks, if it doesn't look like your uh, original subject, then use a different tool, regenerate, do something. But I like this guy. The only thing we need to do is remove that background again. So let's go here. Let's say, make sure it's clicked, say remove background, click again, and wait. All right. Click him. I don't like that. The background's still shown in the space between his arms, but we'll hope that that doesn't affect our images, and we will export him. Then we will bring him back in. Okay, so we have our newly generated separated toddler kid in our bulk actions, and we're going to do the same thing. Upscale it, convert 300, and build it. Okay, back with our toddler, and he's separated from his background and he's upscaled. So now we have a character we can use. And for the first demonstration, let's go to the existing tool in AI Storybook Studio. Personalized alphabet book will create a new story. We are going to use our child's photo. Now, let's use the illustrated one to start and see how that does. And for book title, we'll say Josh's ABCs are white. We'll do this in a 3:4 ratio for KDP. And then I hate that you have to choose from one of these and you can't necessarily just like choose them all and have a mix, but let's do everyday objects. We'll say it's a boy. And for the costume top, if you don't specify this, it will not go from your source image. It will generate its own outfit. So to keep it in theme with my image, I'm going to have to prompt it for the costume top, a striped shirt. I'm going to leave the details out. For the bottom, I'm going to say blue shorts, footwear, white sneakers. All right. Like I said, I tried this before using this very similar image. I did not put the costume details in, and it didn't follow my source image at all. I mean, it did as far as the face goes, but it put him in a whole different kind of an outfit. So keep that in mind. All right, we'll click generate and wait and see what happens. All right, I'm not going to sit and wait for all of these things to start populating, but just from what's coming in right now, you can see the problems. You know, just generally speaking, the kid is in the same position in every single picture. He's got the same look. He's doing the same thing. He's not really looking at the objects. And then you get these weird other kind of AI creations where I don't know what any of this is about. This text been you can see sometimes in the prompt, but these lines, these borders. So I'm thinking partially this could have to do with my source image being a cartoon type image, because if you look at this prompt for the personalized alphabet book, the very beginning, a 3D Pixar style illustration, all right, and then at the end, polished cinematic Pixar 3D look. So even though I put in a storybook illustration character for my source image, it turned it into a whole Pixar deal. All right. So that wasn't what we wanted. but that's what you get with this tool. The other thing that I'm not crazy about is that there are just so many inconsistencies you can see between the pages. Like if you read the prompt, it says large uppercase A appears in a clean serif font. Well, that's not a serif font. That's not a serif font. It's not following the prompts. So, but here you have a serif font. Here you have a sans serif font for the C, but a serif font for the word, and you got a drop shadow behind it. So there's all these little inconsistencies, all these little problems, with this particular tool in Artistly as it is. They've made some fixes, but I think there's a lot left to do. So I'm going to actually go ahead and just delete all this garbage, and then we're going to start making a custom book. Hang on one second. All right. So this one, like most of my projects, begins with a conversation with ChatGPT. So I'm not going to bore you with my typing, but I'll tell you after I've typed what we have asked it. Okay, so here's what I have asked of ChatGPT. I said, I'd like you to provide me with a variety of prompts waiting for my input to create personalized alphabet books for a toddler. I'll need prompts with the boy's description and without. I'll also need prompts with full text and just summary text. And then, as usual, ChatGPT goes off and gives me way more than I asked for, with a bunch of ideas and whatnot. But so it's asking me for the toddler's character card, the description and whatnot. So I am going to add the file and so it can see what our guy, and we'll just call him Josh so we can see what he looks like. Hang on one sec. All right, I've uploaded our image of our little guy Josh, and here is the description. And I asked it to wait for my input, but it's just going off as it does. So what is the boy's name? I'm going to tell it you need more information about the ABC book before continuing. His name is Josh. Now I'm going to tell it what I want, how I want it to populate the book with text. So let me start off by telling it that we need 26 toddler-friendly, simple words, but not words like apple, cat, etc. that are too common. Now, obviously, you can do whatever you want. You can provide all the text yourself with your own, words for the letters and all that stuff. But for content, I always just go to ChatGPT because it's just easier than trying to come up with my own stuff for these trainings. So, words that are not too common. Let's see what it gives us there. So it's giving us a list of words. We'll look through them. And if there are any changes, we could change them. I don't like zipper. Whoops. Let's change zipper. Let's just do zebra. All right, I like our list of words, and we've got Josh's visual description. So now it's asking me how should the pages be written. Just simple, A is for acorn, or B, A is for acorn, and then with a little phrase afterwards, like Josh finds one on the ground, which I like a little better. And then it's asking me this because we already had this conversation, and it knows what I want. So the C option it's giving me is rhyming couplets, 2 short lines per letter. And so what I want to do is create a rhyming scheme where every 2 pages rhyme, like a kind of a rhyming couplet, I guess. So that's what I'm going to tell ChatGPT, rhyming couplet every 2 pages, A and B, etc., rhyme with one another. Let's see what we get. All right, so it understands what I want and it's telling me it's ready to go. I'm going to say let's do one at a time. One at a time, starting with full text and full description. All right, so while it generates that, let's talk about the different tools that we're going to be looking at today. And there is a PDF file that goes along with this training. You'll see it on the video page, and there should be a link in the description. So you can kind of take a look at that for reference. But going back into Artistly, I want to show you, we're only looking right now at the AI design agents area right here. We click that and you'll see that we have 5 storybook tools: consistent character storybook, multi-character storybook, script to storybook, kids storybooks, and personalized storybook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So, all right. And if you take a look at the reference sheet, you'll see that the first 2, consistent character storybook and multi-character storybook, are in green, and those are definitely recommended as a good tool to make a personalized ABC book like this. When you look down at the kids storybooks, we're not recommending that necessarily for most ABC books, although you may be able to get good results from it depending on your prompts and all that. But in this case, you'll see that the character is created from the prompt. You can't put in a reference image, and that it's just not the best tool for this. It says max pages 25. We're talking about kids storybooks, but I found out that if you tell it in the prompt to make 26, it will do 26, which is great for an alphabet book, but it won't do more than that. So you'll have your cover you'll have to make with another tool, but you can get 26 pages out of kids storybooks. But for a lot of reasons, I don't recommend it for ABC books. And then script to storybook, definitely not recommended for this kind of a project. And personalized storybooks also. That tool is basically kind of like Storybook for Dummy. You tell it the kid's name, age, gender, and the tone you want, and it just spits out a story. So there's little to no control, and it won't even do an ABC book if you ask it to. So you'll see those last 2, personalized and script to storybook, are not recommended. Kids storybook, you could get away with it depending, but the first 2 tools are good for this project. And you'll see that there's a big difference between the 2 of these starting out. With consistent character storybook, you get to add your own reference image, and with multi-character storybook, you have to give them a description of your character. So these are the 2 tools that we're going to work with today to create a personalized ABC book, and we're going to start with consistent character storybook. So let's go to that tool right now. We're going to create a new storybook. You can see it's asking us for a character image, and we're going to go back to our personalized prompt here. And so the first one that I asked ChatGPT for actually gives me a description of the kid, and that's actually not what I want, since in consistent characters we're using a reference image. So I'm going to say, please give me the story without the description of Josh. All right. So it looks like when I asked it to leave out the description, it left Josh out of the story altogether. So I'm going to tell it once again. Josh needs to be mentioned on every page, but but not his description. Let's see what that does. All right. I told you this was kind of an experiment we were going to go on here together. And what I'm finding is that ChatGPT gave me a story that rhymes line to line, not page to page. So that's not what I want. It says A is for acorn. Josh finds one so small. He smiles as it drops from a tall oak tree's fall. So I'm going to tell it we have too much text, only one line per page per item, and each item should not have a rhyme. It's hard to know how to talk to this thing sometimes. Each item should not have a rhyme, but each two-page pair should rhyme. Perfect. Thank you for tightening that. Yes, here, let's see. This is better. A is for acorn. Josh found one today. B is for bubbles. Josh watched them all play. All right. And I don't know about the Josh on every page. See that it follows my instructions, but that's probably overkill to have his name on every page. But we'll leave it as it is. I don't want to keep going back and forth. It's a small detail. And so I'm also going to tell it, please include a style note that it should be storybook illustration style throughout. Then we're going to drop this prompt. And I'm going to grab the whole thing, Josh's ABC book. We'll see what it does with it. All the way down to zebra. Copy. Now, for the character image, we're going to go here, choose from our library. We're going to get our storybook illustration, Josh. Story type does not matter. You could set it for anything because we're giving it a script, not a summary. And we're going to say 26 pages. We're going to set it in 3 to 4. And this, where it says story summary, there appears to not be a character limit here. So you could put a story summary, or you could put your whole script from what I get, as far as I understand it. So I'm going to copy and paste that whole script. We can see it goes all the way down to zebra. There's no warning telling us we're going over a character limit, so we'll leave it as is. And because I am testing, I'm going to say for the book title, I'm just going to copy that and do consistent character storybook and say storybook style as the author, so we remember the style that we used. And then I'm going to click generate. All right, so we have our storybook pages generated, and you can already tell they look so much nicer than that kind of generic Pixar kid sitting on the floor with cross eyes, holding various objects or whatever. It's just a lot more variety and a lot more, pleasing to look at, I think. So, but there are a couple images that have problems, and we're going to take a look at how to possibly fix some of those. So this one, first of all, I don't like how it has the eyes and the ears on the cloud, so we're going to see why that happened. We'll take a look here with the eye. The boy lies on his back in a grassy field looking up at a fluffy white cloud shaped like a friendly animal against a soft blue sky. Alright, so because it's shaped like a friendly animal, it put an animal in the sky. I'm going to hit regenerate and just see what it does, and while that's working, we're going to look at another potential problem. I don't like the drumsticks in this image, so we're going to look at it. Colorful toy drum with drumsticks. And so I'm going to just regenerate and see if it gives us anything better. Looking pretty good for the most part. Oh, this one. Check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so he has 6 fingers on that hand. Let's regenerate and see if it fixes. All right, check it out. All I did was click regenerate, and it got rid of that cat face that was in the cloud. That's a perfect image right there, and only took 1 click to fix it. Back here, drumsticks are a little sloppy looking, but for our purposes, they'll be fine. So again, just a quick regenerate and it fixed kind of an ugly problem. What was the other one? I think it was this one. Wobbly jelly. I guess because now he's holding the jelly so we don't have that hand issue. I think that was the one. Uh, oh, that's a weird one too. Look at all those fingers. Regenerate. This is for nest and let's see. Just go through, I think a lot of people don't do this carefully enough. Check their details. 1, 2, 3, count fingers before you publish. Uh, you know, like I said, for this purpose, I'm going to try it. I'm going to regenerate for S too because of all those fingers. For this, it's not a big deal because we care less about content. But check it out. Quick regenerate, and now you don't see all the fingers on that hand. So regenerate is a great way to fix images. Nice. Well, we got a problem with the finger, but maybe that finger is stuck in his pocket. I don't know. Let's say edit image and say he has 5 fingers on both hands. This is a risky move, especially without downloading this image first, because you never know what you're going to get, but we'll try it. And if it's not great, we'll move on. But still, great to see that so many things can be fixed with just a quick regenerate. Obviously, if you were going to publish this or give it to somebody, you're going to want to go through every single page and double check. Here's another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to click regenerate, see if that helps with the bubbles here. Let's regenerate this one more time. It's bugging me, these darn fingers. I'm going to pause you. All right, so this is our regenerated bubble page. Still has an issue with the finger, but I'm going to leave it for now. It's not obviously 6 fingers. It's just kind of a weird mess up with this one. So I'm not going to keep wasting time with this, but I'm going to show you one other way to potentially change out an image if regeneration and edit story text or edit image or these things don't work. I'm gonna show you. First, let's try edit image, and I'm going to say Josh plays with a yo on a string, but I don't think that's a good prompt, so I'm not expecting much. All right, so as expected, not great. So I'm going to try an alternate method, and this is something for you to try when you're kind of in a position like this where you can't get a great result from regenerating or fixing or edit the image. We're going to go down here, and we're going to copy the prompt. All right. And then we are going to go to a tool in Design Assistance called Storybook Illustrator. We're going to say we want a reference photo, and we're going to give them our, oh, I didn't put them in my character folder yet. All right, but we'll give them our watercolor, our storybook Josh. We need it in 3:4 to match, and then let's paste our prompt. Now, making it go up and down, I'm just checking the prompt, and he says plays with a bright red yo-yo, making it go up and down. I'm going to get rid of making it go up and down with practiced ease, and I'm going to say it hangs from his hand by a string, and we're going to see if we can make that work. And yeah, good. It's still, the prompt says warm, gentle watercolor storybook style, so that's good. Perfect. Let's generate, and we'll wait over here for that to come up. Actually, while that's working, this is kind of bugging me on the cover a little bit. Let's see if we can just regenerate that and fix the text. So you can see it's the only thing that's messed up, but it's pretty bad. So let's click regenerate and hope that we get something better. All right, well, it didn't do great on the text. So I wonder if I say edit image and then say edit text, title text to consistent character storybook and in blue beneath, edit text to by R white. Let's see what that does. And this image of Josh with the yo-yo is not perfect, but you know what? Like I always say, the content is less important than the technique. So there are other ways you could keep editing. You could even choose a different Y word if that's bothering you. But what we're going to do, because this is actually better than the previous one, is we're going to swap this image out. So then we need to go down to, oh, let's see, this is done. Create consistent. All right, well, it did better, but it didn't fix it entirely. I don't care. We're moving on. So we're going to go down to the yo-yo image from our storybook, and we are going to look at it. We don't like it. We're going to say swap story image, choose from library, and then we're going to click on our new one. Style-wise, it matches enough. The image doesn't bleed all the way out to the edge of the page, but that's all right. I'm just showing the technique here. We'll submit that, and now that image is part of our story, and the other one is gone. So I can delete this one. All right. And now let's create the flipbook and see what we got. Now that we have all of our images that we like, they all look great. 5 fingers, he's even showing you. Look, Ma, only 10 fingers. So let's go here. We're going to go to my flipbooks. We are going to create new. Go to consistent character storybook, because that is where we created these images. Create flipbook, select the story, create flipbook, and then we shall pause. Oh wait, no, sorry, spoke too soon. For the template, we're going to just use a blank one on that page where the text is. For the front cover, we'll use this goofy thing. For the back cover, they don't generate a back cover. You know what, I'm just going to use this cute one of Josh by himself, if it's the right, hopefully it's the right aspect ratio, and then we'll click generate, and then we'll wait. Alright, so our book is done, but something real weird happened that I've never seen before, so let's take a look at it. Alright, we got our cover with the better but still a little bit weird title text, and then I've never seen the storybook tool put 2 image pages together. It's supposed to be image on the left, text on the right, but you can see everything's a page behind, and then you get weird things like this, like it put the A page here. So I'm not sure why that happened. It could have had to do with my prompt. It could have had to do with me swapping that page out, which it shouldn't, or it could just be a total fluke in the flipbook software. So I've generated. I went back in case you're not sure how to do this. I went back to AA Design Agents, went to the tool I used, Consistent Character Storybook, and then over here on the right, I clicked Your Storybooks, which the newest one was this Josh's ABC book, and then I clicked Use This Story. It's asking for you to re-input the character image, but then it's giving you all the page prompts. You can't change anything, but it shows you what they are. And then you can make some changes. Well, yeah, you can't change the number of pages or the story type, but you can choose a different dimension. So actually, when I did this last one, this regeneration just now while you were paused, I did the wrong. I didn't even see this over here, so I did it in 1-to-1, and I changed the title. So we're going to just kind of see what happened with that one, and if that one looks any better. So let's go to Personal Designs. I don't see the acorn, but that could be down at the bottom. Yep, there it is. All right. So let's try again with the page swap, because I don't want to think that that is what caused our problem. So, all right, let's find a problematic image. Oh, geez, here he only has 3 fingers. Let's regenerate and see if that fixes. Boy, oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, regenerate. Gotta watch for that, folks. Here he's showing. Look, he's putting it out there. I only have 5 fingers. Do not get upset. All right, where were we? All right, that looks better. Waiting. The puddle. All right, all fixed. Let's swap an image out and see if that's. Let's get rid of that cat face. I'm going to regenerate, see if that can happen. Let's try to fix the yo-yo again by going to Storybook Illustrator. So we're going to get this prompt. Copy. Go to Design Assistant, Storybook Illustrator. We've got to make sure we're in 1.1. Use reference photo. Find our little guy. He's down here somewhere. Here. 1.1. Paste the prompt. Boy skillfully plays. I'm going to just change this. I'll leave the looking focused and pleased. The boy holds out a hand from which a red yo-yo hangs by a thin white string. Alright, I'm going to get rid of the looking focused and pleased because I don't want it to think the yo-yo is looking focused and pleased. You never know what AI is going to make a thing. So let's leave that prompt, click generate, and see if we get a better image than the last one, which is basically just a ball, not a yo-yo. And we'll try and swap it out and remake the book. While that's actually working, I just realized my last regeneration did not get rid of the animal face. Hey, that's a little better. So I'm going to click Edit Image, and I'm going to say Remove Face and Ears from Cloud. See if that helps. And alright, so not perfect again, but it's a little better, and I'm going to swap it out just for the sake of trying. Alright, so we go to our pour image, we say swap story image, we choose this new one. The style's quite a bit different, but I just want to know if that's the reason why we had a weird issue with the book formatting. So I'm going to do it anyways, even though I'm not crazy about it as far as the style goes, matching the rest of them. Darn, we cannot get rid of that face. Alright, so I'm going to edit. Now you can't edit the prompt. Let's see, edit image. Remove eyes, nose, and mouth from cloud at top. Cross fingers and wait. Alright, so I could say remove the ears. We could go back and forth all day, but I'm going to leave it as it is. We're going to build our flip book and see what happens. My flip books, create new, consistent character, create again, select, and then we'll create. We need to have a template. I'm going to use blank. Front cover was generated for us. Back cover, I will use, let's use Josh with the yo-yo, and we'll click generate. Alright, that is still generating. Now it's telling us they have a new kind of warning here that the flipbook can take 5 to 10 minutes to process. They must be getting a lot of use, so they put this disclaimer out here. While that's working, I did want to try one more thing from the personal designs. I wanted to see about changing the story text to change the image. So let's have a look at this one, which is our kind of oddball, and the yo-yo was problematic. So let's edit story text. Y is for yo-yo, and let's see if it changes the prompt based on our new text. So I'm going to say Y is for yarn, and since the story text in this one says Josh made it go through, we need something if we're going to maintain this rhyming scheme that rhymes with through. So we're going to say Y is for yarn, Josh has some in blue. That's all I can think of. Let's see what it does. Okay, so well, it edited the story text. Now let's see if we can edit image to say Josh is holding a what do they call it? A ball of blue yarn. And let's see if we can finagle this thing to do our bidding. Okay, look at that. So it kept the style. We could have done this with our original image and it would have been in this, better, more consistent storybook style. But since we went to the other tool and generated one, it's a little bit different. But look, so you can edit the story text and then edit the image and it will go along with the story text and you can get results that way, that so you don't have to go and recreate and swap out images and stuff. Cool, so that's good to know. I learned something myself. But our original book did not have this. It still has the yo-yo, and that should be done by now. Yes, so let's go take a look. All right, nice cover. Crossing fingers here. All right, A is for acorn. Josh found one today. Darn it. Well, that's no good. All right. So once again, everything is kind of getting a little bit messed up, and I'm not sure why. I'm going to go back to ChatGPT and kind of give it a new prompt and see if we can sort this out. All right. So what I've done is gone back to ChatGPT. There's some kind of a problem with the page layout happening. Like I said, I've never seen this before, and even when I was doing my testing the other day, this wasn't happening. Could be a problem like a glitch that's happening in the tool today, but I asked it to give me the whole thing in one paragraph, excuse me, and so I'm going to copy and put that back into Artistly here. We're going to go to Design Agents, Consistent Character, choose from library. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Listen, this is a tip. I always tell everybody. I'm going to do it myself. I got to find my little guy, my character that I use frequently. View him, and I'm going to put him into my characters folder so I don't have to go hunting for him every time. And I'm going to do that actually. Same thing with my photorealistic version also. Click it, put it in characters. Now, when we go to Design Agents, Consistent Character, Create New, choose from library, and we go to our characters folder, there's our guy. All right, you know what? I'm going to try a different story type. I don't know. And you have to choose number of pages. I'm going to say 26, but it's not adhering to that. We're going to say 3-4 again, and I'm going to paste that paragraph prompt. And we're going to say, you know what, because I think it specifies the title, Josh's ABC book, I'm going to stay consistent with that. Josh's ABC book. And I don't want to give it anything that could cause it issues. And I'm going to say for the author, I'm going to say Arwhite. All right, we'll click that, and I will pause you. All right, so we have our images. They look pretty good for the most part. I'm not going to, just for the sake of brevity, go through and edit pictures. I'm simply going to try to build the book with the existing pages just to see what is happening with this page layout fluke. So bear with me. Okay, so our book is done, apparently. Let's have a look. Josh's ABC book by Arwhite. All right. So what it did was it kind of created this page from nothing. I never told it to create a page. Josh woke up excited to learn his ABCs today. But since it added those, I have a feeling it's going to leave out our maybe our Z page. But let's flip through real quick. So far, so good. A, B. Oh, I see another thing that it did. Wow, it really added a lot. The Consistent Character Storybook took it upon itself with the text that I gave it to add text to it. C is for cloud. Josh saw one up high. That's where it should stop. But then it added shaped like a bunny in the big blue sky. So I'm not crazy about it. It's getting a little bit verbose for me. I wanted it shorter, but let's just ignore that for the moment and check the page layout, which seems to be better. G is for gate, H is for hat. Okay, wait. So I think there's a glitch in the tool, honestly, right now, because this should not be flipped like this. I is for igloo, that's jelly. J is for jelly, that's a kite. So somehow here it got messed up, and I'm wondering if it had something to do. Now it's back on track, but I'm wondering if it had something to do with those extra pages. So what I've done, U, V, W, X. Oh, see, even back here, it messed up. So what I've done, I'm going to get rid of this. It's very disappointing. I've told it, change the prompt to not specify a page count. So, and I'm going to also tell it not to add any pages or text. And let's try it one final time with this consistent character storybook tool. After that, we're going to have to move on because I think maybe there's a problem with the tool. I think Artistly is having a glitch. But let's try create a toddler alphabet picture book. All right. So this has explicit instructions to keep everything as is. Don't add anything. Let's try it one more time. Consistent character, new, choose. We go to our characters folder. Click our guy. It doesn't matter. I'm going to tell it 26 pages. 3, 4, and let's paste this and make sure it doesn't say how many pages at the top. I'm just going to say Josh ABC by R. White, and let's cross our fingers that this works. Okay, back again with our final attempt here, and I'm not going to make any other changes as far as swapping pages or anything. You should generally always be able to do stuff like that. There's no reason you shouldn't, but there's a glitch somewhere. So I'm going to try to fix a couple of images. Like, I don't like this. What is this? H is for hat. Let me regenerate this because he's just not in any kind of, the whole background was black. There was another one I saw like this one here. Let me just regenerate this and see if that'll give us a better image than that black background. They're fine. They're definitely more interesting than the ones from the stock tool. All right. So what I'm going to do, look, I'm going to go to this image. I'm going to say edit image, and I'm going to say add environment. I'm just going to be very generic and see what happens. Hopefully it can take the context clues. Oh boy. Let's fix this yarn one again. Edit story text. Y is for yarn. Josh has some in blue. Submit that. Then I'm going to edit the image. Josh sits on the floor in a room, in a child's room, holding a ball of blue yarn. Well, try and fix that. What was the other one I was working on? I don't remember. All right, going through. Oh, his hat. Look at that. I just said add environment, and it added environment. I don't care. It's better than that black background, and look how easy that was. Add environment. You could have said add, firehouse environment, add, living room environment, whatever. And so, but that's pretty good. Here's our yarn. Perfect. Let's check, make sure. Y is for yar. All right, so we gotta say edit story text again. Y is for yarn. Some of you probably caught that. I didn't. And so now we should be good to go. I'm gonna create the flipbook, making no other changes. Boy, we got a lot here going. My flipbooks, create new, consistent, create, blah, 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 create. Template, blank, whoops. Let's use this one. Why not? Whatever this little kid thing is. Choose from library the front cover. We'll use that one, even though it's terrible. For a back cover, we will, let's see. How about Josh and the Cloud? Generate flipbook, and we'll see in a moment. All right, it's going to take a minute. While that is rendering, I had an idea. I went over to ChatGPT and I said, give me a summary without the description of the child, but let the AI make up the words and the rhymes. So it gave me this prompt here with some rules in it. I'm going to copy that, and just as a fun little test, we're going to go back to the same tool. Whoops. And let's choose, and in fact, this time let's choose our photorealistic Josh. We'll say it's a moral story. Who cares? And 3, 4. I'm going to post that summary, and then I'm going to make sure that it does not say soft storybook illustration. Create a toddler alphabet picture book. Josh must appear in every scene. And I just want to make sure there's no style references so that we see what it does naturally. Josh ABC test, I'm going to call this one. And we'll just say R white again. And let's see what happens with that one. Maybe our other book will be done generating as this one continues, and we can have a look and hope that it got the layout properly in this version. All right, so our flipbook is done. I haven't looked at it yet. I'm very nervous because never had this many problems with, oh boy. Yeah, there's something wrong with the tool today. There's something wrong. It's just not doing the right thing. Okay, well, we're back. It's day 2 of this adventure. That was very frustrating, and turns out I went back later yesterday evening, regenerated all those books, and they came out perfect. So, just my bad for trying to make a video on a day when Artistly was not feeling up to it. So if anything, this is sort of a cautionary tale that, you may be trying to get some work done one day and Artistly may not want to cooperate. But as a general rule, they usually fix stuff pretty quickly. That was a real problematic issue with the storybooks yesterday. You remember, well, of course you remember, it was like 3 minutes ago in the video. But, they were all out of order and whatnot. I've recreated this book. I've regenerated a bunch of them just so you could see. It wasn't anything I did with the prompts. It wasn't page swapping. It wasn't fixing anything. It was strictly a glitch with Artistly. So I've regenerated these books. I just want you to see. This is the square one. I used a template for the background, for the text page. And you can see we have the pages in the right order. R, S, T, U, all the way to Y is for yarn with our replaced page, our swapped page with the blue yarn. That's a little bit out of place stylistically. And then I used the same thing for the back cover. So let me just show you again another one that we tried to do that was messed up. And just regenerating all these books fixed it today. So, well, last night I did this. But it's working today as well. So you just never know. If it's not working for you, go take a break, come back to it. And in a few hours, usually they have stuff fixed. So that pretty much covers what I wanted to cover as far as personalized ABC books using alternative methods. I had wanted to show you the next tool, multi-character storybook, for this, but this is getting a little bit long in the tooth, and we should probably wrap it pretty soon. It's basically the same, the same process. The only difference with the multi-character storybook as compared to the consistent character storybook. And let me remind you, we're talking about the AI design agents only right now. We haven't even gotten into the storybook studio. We're only talking about AI design agents. And between consistent character storybook and multi-character storybook, if you're for this project, multi-character storybook does not allow you to import a reference image, so you have to prompt for that. So let me kind of show you what happened with that. When I did the same, I used the same prompts, the same book, the same character, everything, but I used the next tool, multi-character storybook. And let's see, I made this one. You can see the text is pretty nice. It does include, as usual, the kind of Pixar logo that you're going to have to get rid of one way or another before you use this to publish or sell. Plus, it just looks terrible. But this is multi-character storybook with the image prompt. Now, the only thing is, I will say that it does a nice shirt with as far as the stripes and the colors go, but it doesn't keep them consistent, right? You don't have a reference image, you just have a description that says stripes in these colors, so it doesn't really know what order to give you the stripes in. So it's always different. So what I did to get around that was I told it to give him a simpler, I went back to ChatGPT and I said, let's see, I said, let's change Josh's shirt to something easier to recreate and plainer. Not great English, but it understood what I meant. So then I took this prompt that it gave me back and did the same exact book with with the shirt prompted. Now you can see it does something funky there. And oh, the other thing was, you can see it's giving him a nice blue shirt through the whole thing, but I also changed the style, which it did not like. I asked it, let me see, please change the style to something drastically different, like a hand-drawn sketch. So then it gave me this hand-drawn pencil and ink sketchbook illustration style with loose line work, etc. And Artistly did not care for that, because you can see it's giving me like a sketchbook in the image with stains and stuff like that. So for multi-character storybook, you can also see it's the style defaults to photorealistic, and so I think that's creating some confusion. So my advice with multi-character storybook is to not specify a style. It's to let Artistly do what it wants to do, because if you look at the pages where I didn't specify a style, I just gave it the description of the boy and the story text. It did a beautiful job with images. The consistency is nice, even though we didn't give it a reference image. Like I said, the stripes are different, but overall the boy looks great. So if you get this same output but in with a shirt that is easier to recreate, and you let it do it in the Pixar style, you'll probably get a great looking consistent book. Let's go back and take a look at the flip book we made with that. And I did give it the text also. I gave it all the text for it to put in that we got from ChatGPT. So it's got the 2-page rhyming scheme. It's got the pages in the right order, and it's got these great looking Pixar style images. Now, I've said this before in some of my other videos, if you just hate the Pixar but you want those consistent results that you get using the multi-character storybook tool, then you have options. And I tried to do a little experimenting here. I took some of these images like this one with the bubbles and this one where he's in the van. And I opened those up in Photo Editor and used a prompt to change the style. I opened the van one up and I said in Photo Editor, convert to hand-drawn pencil and ink sketchbook illustration with loose line work. All right, and that gave us kind of a cute little drawing. He looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid or something here. But then I took the next image and did the exact same prompt, and it gave me something without even any color. So you're not guaranteed consistency with that. Then I did the same thing, but I used text editor. Let's try, that's the bubbles. Let's try the van one. I'm going to copy the same prompt. We're doing this only because we got good results from multi-character storybook, but we don't care for Pixar. So we're going to take this image from the van. Let's try text editor again. Design assistance, text editor. Let's find that image of where he's sitting here. Set it to 5:4, which is what I set this book to. Paste, whoops, I didn't want to paste that twice. Paste it and see what it gives us. All right, so using text editor to edit that image gave us two pretty consistent results. So again, if you did this for your whole book, and this text edited storybook style, what you'd want to do obviously is you would want to find your matching storybook images. Where's bubbles? Here. You would want to click it. You would want to swap story image, choose from library, and find the new one. Alright, so now that's part of our story. We'll do it again. Where's the one we're looking for? So you can see our bubble image has replaced the original Pixar one. Let's do the same thing with the van. Wait, am I missing it? There it is. Alright, sorry. Let's view this one. Swap story image, choose from library, find the one with him in the van. That was change style. Submit. And so that replaces our image. Now let me show you, since we're not positive we're always going to get consistent results using those tools, let us try one other thing and go to AI Design Assistance and AI Stylizer. We will choose one of our images. How about, oh, this is cute with him in the puddle. Let's change it to cartoon style. Leave default aspect ratio and stylize. Alright, you can see we got a pretty nice cartoon style image that beats our Pixar. Let's do it for one more and see if they match. So we are going to go to Design Assistance, Stylizer, pick one more image. How about him with the octopus? That's fun. And I think we used cartoon style, leaving the default aspect ratio and stylize. Alright, and the cartoon style gave us a nice cartoony image. Once again, if we did our entire book this way, we would go to our images, swap story image. Oh, we don't have that one yet. They haven't populated yet, so we'll give it a second. Once again, we're going to try to swap our image out. It's taken a real long time for these images to populate. Swap story image, choose, and they're still not here yet. So I'm going to show you a little workaround for this. If you're in the same position I am, waiting for these things to populate so you can swap them out. Let's try something. Let's look at it. Let's put it in our characters folder. Let's go back here, move it to our characters folder, and then let's find those images we want to swap. Once again, swap story image. I'm going to see if they're here. They're not here yet, but if I go to characters, boom, there they are. Alright, so submit that for swap. Do the same thing with our puddle image. Swap story image, choose. Ah, there, they finally populated. So I'll click from here, submit. All right, so again, if you hate that Pixar thing that it does the best and you get the best results from, just go through, change the style to something you like more. I'm not necessarily crazy about that cartoon style, but it does show you that we can get consistent, at least relatively consistent results with using a different style. So we can swap out and get rid of that Pixar if you do not like it. So I think that should probably about wrap it up. I apologize for the confusion there in the middle. I got kind of befuddled when Artistly would not do what I wanted it to do and create the books in the right order and all that, but it was a glitch like happens, and Artistly has glitches occasionally, and sometimes you have to put the work down and come back to it another time. But in this case, really what I want you to get is that there are a lot of options for these kind of personalized ABC books. The tool that comes stock with AI Storybook Studio Personalized Alphabet tool is, in my opinion, pretty weak. But if you want something more colorful, more vibrant, more personal, more custom, then you have many other tools at your disposal using ChatGPT to give you some nice prompts. Now, whether you write the story, come up with the words, or have ChatGPT do it for you, I don't care. That's all up to you. My suggestion would be at least have some influence on the content that goes in. Have ChatGPT give you something and then go through and say, listen, I don't like that. I don't like this. Let's fix that. Let's change this. And, then it at least becomes a little more personal. The other thing I was thinking of for this like personalized ABC book once I saw this is, you could do a coloring book, where every page is a coloring book page, and they can still have the ABC and the text, but color the page. And on the other page, you would have just text, so there wouldn't be an image to cover up with, if there's bleed through. But lots of options. Just be careful. Artistly almost always wants to use Pixar or photorealistic style. So if you prompt it differently, you could get weird results. So in those cases, just let it do what it wants to do. It wants to give you Pixar, and then just go change them somewhere else, like this. See? It even for the cover, it says style 3D Pixar style, which I did not say. I hope that's helpful. I do apologize for the confusion. I hope it's easy enough to follow. I've tried to edit it so that all the weird little stops and starts and confusing parts are edited out, but this gave me a run for my money trying to get some good results out of the storybook tool. But I hope it proved helpful to you, seeing some of the issues that crop up, and I hope it gives you some ideas to make some better personalized ABC books for your kids, your friends, your grandkids, whatever. So, all right, and I guess that will wrap it up for this one. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for sticking through it, through all the funk, and hit subscribe, hit like, drop questions in the comments, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Take care.